My friends, the great experiment.
We should analyze the optical properties of this movie.
We've got 50,000 movies in the database. There must be something worth watching.
This is a movie house. This place isn't about function. It's about fantasy.
You could always read a book.
Welcome to Greatest Trek Film Festival. It is an interstitial podcast from the makers of Greatest Trek. While we wait for the next season of Strange New Worlds to start, I'm Ben Harrison.
I'm Adam Pranica.
We have a gorgeous guest today, Adam, and so capable. An expert in karate and fencing, not to mention, real handy with a lighter.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has been shaved by 4 women yet. Look at that beautiful beard he's got.
It is the one, the only, the Pog Daddy, Bill Tilley.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's always great to be on mic with you. It's so special. I can almost hear the Starfleet bosun's electro whistle go off every time I get the call from you.
Well, we're doing a little... We finished our first season of Star Trek, the original series, and got to that handful of weeks before the beginning of Strange New Worlds. We kind of felt like it would be weird to launch into another season only just to stop for Strange New Worlds and then start back up again. So this is a little sequence of 3 episodes we're calling Greatest Trek Film Fest Staff Recommendations. And I have a beautiful image of a 90s video store in my mind where Bill and Wynde and Rob Adler all have, little cards on the staff recommendation shelf telling us why these 1966 films should be ones we watch. What's on that card for you, Bill?
I like to think my actual card would be written in cursive with a felt tip marker, but it spews out right at the end. So that last L fades and everybody just wants to ask if I'm from Germany, in which I say, no, I'm not. But Rob's would be on a dot matrix printer, and I'm sure Wendy's would be spot on, print perfect. I just want to get that out of the way.
Wendy's not going to fuck that up.
No, not at all. So this was a lot of fun. We did have fun discussing it, and I had fun making my pick for this particular one when we were given that task that we needed to be 1966 specific. And while I am the old of the team, I don't want to be clear. I'm not quite that old, but this kind of stuff was in reruns when I was a lad. So 2 movies sprang to mind. This was one of those 2. I picked the 1966 James Coburn spy spoof, Our Man Flint. Had either of you ever heard of this movie?
No.
I did not know this movie existed. I learned when I looked it up that it is from a genre called spy-fi, which I guess combines spies and fiction.
It's definitely a lot of that latter part. So yeah, these movies were fun. Of course, I grew up, James Bond on the Superstation was on a lot. So I love spy movies, but I like this time in film. I don't get to see that much of it, but it was great because, things could be cranked out so fast and so much, I guess, easier. The process was not it was easy, but not like it was today. You don't need 6,000 AI guys working behind it. But, they would come up with like, oh, you just made that movie? We're going to make some weird takeoff of that movie like 3 months down the line and just capitalize on that. So this was a fun thing for me. I thought you guys might get a kick out of it because spy movies, not exactly a thing that you've gotten to do very much of. You've done war movies and the Star Trek stuff, but, none of the little cloak and dagger stuff. And since this movie to me, I thought would feel like what a Greatest Gen take on James Bond would be to take the piss out of it, I was hoping you guys would have some fun with it.
What a nice compliment that is. Because, so much of this film is like inviting you to get to know James Coburn's greatness. He's an actor I really haven't had much exposure to over the years, Bill. I got to thank you for the recommendation here because I think this is an entry point for me into a vast number of films that he's been in over the course of his career.
The Coburniverse.
Yeah.
Some call it.
For watching this movie for me the first time, and this was I watched it again after I recommended it. So it was only the second time I owned it and I bought it just to watch it. But Coburn feels to me, he's like a George Papard or those guys, they're kind of perpetually old, and they don't sometimes look like they should be tough. Like they would be like, the toughest insurance salesman in the room, but not a spy type of thing.
I got Lee Marvin vibes from him, but like a less lethal Lee Marvin. Like I never felt like Flint was going to kill an innocent person the way I feel like a Lee Marvin character would like drive his car through a group of people.
Right.
And like not turn around.
Yeah. If you forget Lee Marvin's fries at the drive-thru, he's blowing up your Whataburger, but Coburn's going to have a wry smile and he's like, I didn't want to eat there anyway. Yeah. He's got real dad vibes in a way. I think he reminds me a lot of my dad because they were contemporaries, but like if my dad turned out to be a spy, it would be in the weirdest way possible, like this one is, because he's got that look, but it's like, okay, you don't seem like you'd have 4 girlfriends that wouldn't have problems, 4 ex-wives, but not girlfriends. Your karate is amazing, even though the best thing about it is Coburn was a student of Bruce Lee. And if you watch this movie without knowing that fact, it doesn't come across. When you look it up later, you're like, oh, because it looks serious. And it looks like it would hurt, but it's not. I don't know. He flows less like water and more like Geritol, but he still gets the job done.
Oh man, I had an interesting tidbit that you made me think of when you said that thing about how they would just crank these movies out. The voice of Lyndon Johnson appears in one scene in this movie. There's a guy that's always on the phone with the president in the movie, and we'll get into this in our review, but he's always on the phone, and then like you actually hear a bit of the call, and the actor who did the Lyndon Johnson impression is a guy named Van Williams, and he did a Lyndon Johnson impression in the Batman movie that also came out in 1966. So he was busy that year.
What a gig.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder, does he have like rich little level parking at the voice actor's studio when it comes to that? Is he on just speed dial?
He's got to.
I mean, I'd love to have a credit like that on my resume. That's just as ridiculous twice. That'd be awesome.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for recommending this very weird and very specific 1966 movie to us. You really deliver whenever we ask you for a rec like this. Like every time I go into that video store, I got to make sure I read the little card and check out what Bill Tilley has in the on the recommendation rack.
We'll make sure we return it to your store rewound, Bill.
Yeah, be kind. Be kind video. That's what it's called. Just, but hey man, if the slot's jammed, come back the next day. We'll get it fixed. I swear. We'll get Rob and Wynde on that.
You remember that sound when you returned the video cassette of it falling into the laundry hamper full of other cassettes?
Oh, yeah. It's somewhere between a book hitting a china cup and it was a very authoritative thunk. Like, well, that transaction's complete.
I love it. Take me back.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll get into it as we review the 1966 film directed by Dan Mann.
Dan Mann.
Tin Man.
It's the James Coburn film, Our Man Flint. Our Man Flint.
We start aboard a submarine, and Ben, I think it's important, like when you look through a periscope, you want that periscope to go so high, like high enough that you can see over the trees, high enough that you could see over any like mountains or whatever, high enough to see over other boats so you can get a good look at that dam in the distance.
Were they looking at all the weather catastrophes also, like the miniature avalanches and mountains collapsing and all that?
No, I think that's just for us.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen the miniature avalanche before. I feel like that's a piece of stock footage that goes around.
Yeah, if you're looking at the 1966 version of Pond 5, that's going to be an early return. It's
also one of those periscopes that's like really super zoomed in because this is a very little tiny dam. It's like this big. Little bitty guy.
Yeah, I mean, what's it going to hurt when this thing cracks? And crack it does.
It sure does. It Krakatoa toward us.
I love that.
It seems like that gadget that they had on the submarine may have had something to do with the dam collapsing. very beautiful lady and a dapper gentleman standing in this submarine. I mean, like, not who you would expect, right? Like, very fashionable people. They're not wearing uniforms.
I think it's a mistake that we leave this scene and these people for so long before ever returning back to them again.
Interesting choice. We go to Washington, which we know because we see that Capitol dome, and then we're in like a situation room, but it's like an international situation room. There's people with suits and ties, but there's also people with the formal dress of lots of other cultures, and they're all standing around, and they're all very upset about various weather things that are not going great.
Gentlemen, it's quite true. The weather still continues to defy nature. Overnight, the temperature at the Arctic has risen 4.9 degrees Fahrenheit.
Unclear whether or not this is a regular meeting of Z.O.W.I.E, the Zonal Organization of World Intelligence, or if they've gathered as a reaction to what's happened with the dam and all the other things.
Yeah. It kind of feels like maybe they spend a lot of time in this room. Like, this is kind of where most of them show up every day when they get to work, is this room. But there's not enough seating for everyone, you know? There's a lot of standing around.
You want to get to this one early if you want a seat, for sure.
Yeah. Every seaport in the world is in danger. We're talking San Francisco. We're talking New Orleans. We're talking Marseille, the seaports of the world. And that's on account of sea level rise. Starting to feel like this may be a very prescient film.
Yeah, it's a real eco-terrorism problem, and no one in the room seems to have a good grasp of how to solve it. Instead, they'd rather have the computer figure out who would be the best candidates for its solution, right? And of course, because it's 1966, we're going to need to do a lot of like card catalog type computing with holes punched in cards, and then like kind of like rollers and slots for things as the computer adds everything up.
They revel in the business of doing computer just as much as they ever do in any Star Trek episode, even though this is like the kind of computer that they had at the time.
That's a really great observation, because the 66-ness of this movie is both depicted in like settings that are supposed to be familiar to the office worker of its day, and also to those who are interested in science fiction. Like when we go to that volcano base later, like that is straight out of every cave we've ever seen in Star Trek, for the most part, but just with bigger budgets.
The budget is hard to overstate here. The louvered door revealing the bustling hive of activity in the computer room just on the other side. It was such a fun reveal.
You're right about how the amount of people in a frame really conveys a higher budget than what we usually get on TOS Star Trek.
Cramden is kind of our main dude at Z.O.W.I.E, and he seems to be like both the American representative and kind of the boss of the whole thing. So he is very upset when the various different nations reveal what the computer has decided is going to be the right person to send on this mission, to be Derek Flint. Derek Flint is not who Cramden would like to send, because Derek Flint is, he's good. Let's be honest. He's really good, but he's a loose cannon.
We need a man who can follow regulations. We need a man who's disciplined.
When you're one of these countries that's invited to a meeting at Z.O.W.I.E, do you think you call that a Cramden meeting?
They're crammed in there with Cramden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you're like stuck in kind of an awkward position, you might be cramped in a crammed in.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's this vibe that he's got when the computer gives an answer that he's the only one in the room that does not like. Everyone is so psyched about the Derek Flint answer, and Cramden is not. I think you and I have experienced this before, where like an idea takes off and you're like, oh no. Because you can kind of game out what's going to happen once this initial decision is made. And Cramden knows from experience that Derek Flint is not someone that you manage. He's someone that you set loose on a task, and you just get what you get as a result.
He's a chaos agent, and, everybody from all of the other countries is a go for Derek Flint. Cramden seems to be in a position to hold that up until the red phone on his desk rings, and this is the red phone with the presidential seal. And what he is told by the person on the other end of the line is that this is going to be the guy. Derek Flint is who even the president wants to go for. And I love the wordless realization that Cramden has that he's being bugged by the president of the United States. Like this extremely high-flying international espionage outfit has had its director bugged.
And that the bug is a cable running to a puck underneath a stack of papers on his desk.
That's taped to a stack of paper. Why would you tape it to the paper?
Yeah, I don't agree with that bug placement at all. What I do agree with is this credit sequence that introduces the title and the actors in this movie. Really great stuff. I mean, it's straight out of a James Bond movie when we're using women's bodies as the canvas to, our colors and our music.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the film, picture that original iconic iPod commercial with the people dancing.
Oh yeah.
And just do kind of a full frontal version of that.
I like that comparison a lot.
And the phone's sound effect when the red phone rings is the one that they used for Austin Powers. So this is not just a parody of the James Bond films of the day, but also source material for future parody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
We find Flint after the opening credits practicing in a dojo, and initially he's just kind of it seems like he's just there by himself practicing, but then a squad of dudes come in and he dispatches all of them, and this army dude comes in and Derek Flint just kind of shoos him away. Sorry, I'm busy right now.
This is a scene straight out of the action movie playbook in the films that I really love. How do you learn about your hero character when they're doing things not related to the mission ahead? Like John Matrix cutting down a tree and then lifting the log over his shoulder to work on a home project. This is Derek Flint at rest. And I think that's really important to understand here.
We don't rule of threes this. It's just karate and fencing that he is practicing before, Cramden gives up, gets a call from the president to go do this in person. And so Cramden goes to Flint's apartment, and boy, what an apartment, Adam.
It's really great. I mean, not only is it filled with the decorations and, the stuff that you get from a life of travel and adventure, but Flint himself is so full of power moves and aggressions, like soft aggressions that are so totally intimidating for Cramden to deal with. It's really something to see.
Well, maybe my office would be a better place to talk.
I doubt it, sir.
He's going to get a shave while they have this conversation, and just kind of out of various parts of the apartment, very beautiful young women emerge at various times to, shave him or do various other services. And, Cramden is hey man, I don't even really want you on this mission, but everybody else does. He's really not sharpened up the elevator pitch. And so Derek Flint is not really buying what Cramden is selling.
So much of the soft power that Flint embodies is not talked about in dialogue, but I really feel like one of the most powerful parts of this scene is I have my own barber and shaving chair in my apartment. Doesn't everyone?
You don't have one of these, do you, Jack?
The idea that he just has one of these, I think is low-key one of the most impressive parts. Most impressive part in an apartment that is full of stuff that is probably priceless. The thing that's most impressive to me is your own barber chair.
It's really cool. I mean, it really kicks the shit out of the Pelter bathroom buddy as far as like gadgetized toiletry objects.
If Peltzer made a barber's chair, it would kill you.
It would be very lethal to sit down in that thing.
We're glad Peltzer deals with small appliances, I think.
I think you're right. I think if he works small, he misses small.
I mean, that being said, there is a certain lethality to the peeler juicer and the egg device.
If you're like a kind of a size of a bread box type of character, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So, world is in trouble. Flint is not interested. He's like, that happens all the time. The world is always in trouble. Sometimes I save it. Sometimes someone else has to deal with it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm getting a blowjob from 4 ladies at once. Like, ask me some other time is the idea here.
Man does not live by bread alone.
Cramden in the next scene is just like stepping off a plane, presumably back in Washington from a trip to New York, and the red phone comes out of the limousine that he would have been stepping into to go back to his office, and he's told, I mean, we can assume, like, you got to go back and actually make the case.
This is a scene, I think, that represents something that I like so much about this film. And I think that Austin Powers knew to rip for itself, which is like comedy that isn't associated so much with dialogue, but in action and in quiet parts, because this got a big pop out of me that he would just walk down the air stairs, take a phone call, and then walk straight back up the air stairs onto the plane. You're not hearing the conversation, but everything is conveyed by what he's doing here.
It's also just really funny to me that the president like always knows what he is doing, and I mean, presumably the president could have called him before he left New York, but
it is so much more funny that the phone is handed out the window of the hired car instead of him sitting down in the car. That he never sits down at all is a great choice for comedy.
That night, Flint arrives at a fancy restaurant where he's going to have himself a nice meal with his cadre of 4 beautiful ladies dressed like birthday presents. And there's also another fancy-looking lady here wearing a very fancy hat. She arrives backstage and peeks at all of the stuff going on in the restaurant and also at a harpist, and immediately converts various things she's brought with her into the necessary costume to subdue and replace the harp player, all the while preparing a poisoned dart that is given to her by a bald man that's also there backstage.
I really love the nonverbal information about the dart being poisonous being the action of smelling it and like, ugh.
Stinky!
Like, oh, it's stinky or chemically.
Yeah.
Like, you understand that this is poison from that kind of take.
And just like the way they're holding it is also like very delicate.
I really love what a harp does to a restaurant or a hang. Like, I wish there were more harps out in the world. It's nice.
It is really nice. It's a real motherfucker to take your harp on like the subway if you're out gigging, you know?
Oh, I'm sure you see that all the time in New York. That makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Rory Scovel did a residency back when he lived in LA, and he brought a harpist with him, like to just play background music during his set. So like there's a curvature to a joke that is like fun and funny without a harp player, but there's an absurdity that's added when you have a harp soundtrack playing during. I thought it was big fun.
I've never seen someone use the tension on a harp string to launch a projectile.
How good was this?
So good.
You know what it also tells you is that Gila is fucking great at being a spy, because nothing looks harder than like taking a thumbtack basically and shooting it with a harp string. That just seems insane.
She's like aiming it like at arm's length. She's not even like looking down the barrel of the thumbtack.
Yeah, she's good.
She's really good, but Cramden gets in the way at just the wrong moment and takes the dart in the arm. And Flint is not just a ass-kicking, shave-getting by beautiful women, sophisticate with lots of fancy art in his apartment. He's also a very capable field medic, and He has like some weird key that something extends out of. He saves Cramden's life, and it seems like that was all Flint needed to see to feel like he was going to have to take this job on. Like the fact that the job came to him made it so it's not even something he really gets to choose.
Before starting any large project, what I like to do is hours of meditation, laying between two chairs, making myself look medically dead. And by laying between two chairs, I mean my head is on the seat of one, my feet are on another, and I'm using core strength to bridge that gap. What a dude Derek Flint is.
Core strength that you maintain despite having caused your own heart to stop for 3 hours.
Yeah. This is going to be an important detail that comes up later.
So he has like his watch alarm goes off, and it's this little thing that extends from the crown of the watch and like taps his wrist side to side. Apple, get on that. I want that on the next smartwatch I purchase.
There is no way that a watch wakes anyone up by doing that. That doesn't get like slapped like it's a fucking bug or something while you're asleep.
I love that it looks like very considered. Like the design of it didn't look like something they pulled off a shelf. It looked like a piece of a real watch, you know?
And when it demonstrates its specific power, it's so clear that someone has run a wire through the sleeve under the watch and is like twisting that wire in order to make it work. Like mechanically how it works as an item in a movie is just really interesting.
I would have loved to sit in on the pitch session where they came up with all the different errands he asks the ladies to run in his absence. He's expecting this to be a pretty short trip. He's going to be back by Wednesday, he thinks. But, you know, there is venison that needs to be hung up to dry, etc.
These are very much like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of women, right? Like they all have their specialty and their lane and assignments appropriate to those lanes as he gives them out.
I mean, they could have their own spin-off, I feel like. You know, you get a couple of Flint movies in the can, and then it's like, okay, Agents of Flint, and it's kind of the Charlie's Angels vacation of his girlfriends.
That's a really great observation because for as capable as all of them seem, Flint does not surround himself with these women for the protection that they might offer.
Yeah, they're not bodyguards. They are... I mean, it seems like there is a romantic element to his relationship with all four of them, but they are also like big fans of each other, and this is a pretty agreeable arrangement to everyone, and nobody feels like they're getting used.
It's a very healthy poly arrangement happening here, and no one's going to get hurt.
What we're looking at is an early depiction of a polycule on film. It's pretty exciting. So into Z.O.W.I.E HQ, he finally heads, and they're trying to set him up with like a fancy briefcase and a gun and gadgets and various things. He doesn't need any of that crap. He's got his extremely capable cigarette lighter and watch, and he can shoot a housefly with a dart.
This contains 65 weapons.
This has 82 different functions. 83 if you wish to light a cigar.
You need this scene in a spy film, though, where your hero spy is given the gear that they can choose to use. It just so happens that the scene in this film demonstrates how little of it Flint needs.
I was a little confused about the proximity of this second blow dart scene in the movie because they're also talking about the blow dart from the first blow dart scene in the movie as having had a certain amount of like garlic and saffron residue on it. And in the proportions listed, Flint deduces that must mean that the dart came from Marseille, which is the only place where they make bouillabaisse with that particular arrangement of ingredients.
Ben, I know you to be a knife man. This is something I've known about you for a long time. But like the idea of this cigarette lighter having Swiss Army knife utility, and I'm only using that as like a comparison in the number of different things it can do, not the types of things it can do.
Right.
Were you ever the sort of person that had the Swiss Army knife that was like 2 inches wide that had like every possible tool on it? Or were you always the mini guy that was the size of nail clippers?
I get the one that is just big enough to have scissors and no more things. So it's got like 2 knives, bottle opener, can opener, scissors.
Remember the first time you encountered the one that was the size of a deck of cards? You're like, I can't fucking believe this.
I went and looked at that in the like rotating light up lucite case at the sports store in downtown Montclair all the time, drooled at the possibilities, all of the different functions I would have at my fingertips if I owned that. But it was like $50 or something. I didn't have that kind of scratch.
Just imagine having nail clippers and toenail clippers on the same Swiss Army knife. Incredible.
And a magnifying glass so you can like really see your handiwork once you've trimmed up.
Ben, I feel like there are 20 different functions on that Swiss Army knife, but off the top of my head, I can only think of like 3 things a Swiss Army knife can do.
Yeah. I feel like there's ballpoint pen.
Really?
Is maybe one of them. There's saw. Saw is one of them.
Yeah. The different kinds of knives were definitely an aspect to this.
Plier is probably one of them.
Yeah. Toothpick, tweezers, secondary toothpick, secondary tweezers.
Backup tweeze.
Yeah.
Damn it, man, for once in your life, you're going to follow orders.
We also learned in this scene that Flint is a lone gun. He does not need the team that Cramden is offering him. And it doesn't really feel like Z.O.W.I.E probably puts the most capable agents in the field, given that 0008 and the team that were supposed to be on top of this whole weather-changing maniacs phenomenon are both indisposed. 0008 because he's just on a different mission, and the other team because they got.
One of the fun things about this movie is that Flint is so far ahead of any other character, but he's so far ahead of the viewer, too. Because once you understand that he likes to work alone, and then he goes out into the hallway and fucking murders 2 of the guards outside, I think you're momentarily a little off balance here about what this guy's deal is. And then he sort of reads you in about the justifications for doing that. These guys are imposters. Look, the real guys are in the room next door. Like, he knows 3 steps ahead in every scene.
It's the kind of thing that could take all of the suspense and drama out of the film because he's so far ahead. He like looks at these guys, notices that they have a fictional ribbon for the Battle of the Bulge, murders them, and then is like, oh yeah, look, and there's also evidence of extensive plastic surgery to make them look like the guys that you thought that they actually were. Like, what adversary could possibly be anything but a cinch for this guy to deal with?
Ben, one of many stories I've told on the show depicting my sheer stupidity was the time I went to a wedding and then we played electric fence daisy chain.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That concept was used here to restart one of these guards' hearts. So, like, Cramden is told to stick his fingers into a light bulb socket, grab Flint's hand, and then Flint would use his other hand to like place on top of the heart of one of the guards in order to resuscitate them. I thought was a fascinating bit of business.
A fascinating bit of business that is only there to further demonstrate the capabilities Flint has. It's not because like they're going to get important intel out of the guard.
No.
No. It is immaterial to the plot that the guard was brought back to life through this technique. He also doesn't need their airplane. He's got his own Lear jet that he flies off to Marseille. And we get a little sequence where he goes into several different restaurants, takes one sip of the bouillabaisse and pays the check and leaves.
Ben, I don't think I've ever had bouillabaisse before. Is it good? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's really delicious, but it's like, I feel like there are not that many American dishes, but a lot of other cultures have dishes where you are dealing with like bones and shells and stuff in a way that is like kind of more work than I want to do.
It's not like cioppino, right? Because bouillabaisse is just broth.
No, there's good stuff in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and
okay.
You get aioli and bread and stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. I've had it in Marseille, and it is quite delicious. But it's like when you go to like a Chinese restaurant and get a chicken dish, and like it's a chicken that has just been like chopped up on the cutting board without any, not carved, but just chopped up. So there's like bits that you're like, okay, I got to get this out of here so that I can eat this part. I look like an idiot eating this, but it's so good.
There's a quality in these scenes that I think adds to the comedy, which is like, what is the minimum amount of time you can spend in a restaurant while still qualifying for eating in a restaurant? And I thought a lot about this. It's not like Flint is dining and dashing at all. It's just that he's taking one sip of soup, confirming or denying that it's the one that he's looking for, and then going off to the next.
Not enough garlic or not enough saffron or whatever.
Yeah.
He finally finds himself in kind of a Marseille restaurant that looks like Patrick Swayze is maybe working the door. Like it's real rowdy in there.
You're too stupid to have a good time.
Is this your Marseille? How long ago did you go? Like, try to help me understand how accurate this is.
Oh man, I went there with my mom and dad when I was probably like, I don't know, 14 or something. One of those like family trips where you're like enough of a teenager that you're like, ugh, why do I have to do this?
That you're like sulking in every photograph your parents make you take?
Yeah, but also like I'm not going to turn down a trip to France. Are you kidding me?
Did you buy and wear a beret?
I didn't on that trip, but when I was about 3, we took a trip to England and France. And
when you were 3 years old?
Yeah, my parents and I all wore red berets the entire time we were in France.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You got to dig up that photo, and maybe we can use it as the show art for this.
That would be great. I'll see if anything survived. So the bald guy and the fancy lady that we already met come in, or I guess the bald guy's already there having his own bouillabaisse with a jar of harmless cream on the table. And this is a jar of lotion.
Yeah.
They call it cold cream.
It's a cosmetic. It's not something for consumption or adding to your soup.
It's got like a naked hula lady figure coming off the top of it. Not good packaging for like efficient shipping, let's just say. It's
sort of, I don't know if I'm spot on or way off on this, but it's like, you know, like what Hummel figurines look like? It looks like a ceramic painted figure on top of this jar of cold cream. I thought it was really cool looking.
Maybe if you buy Exotica a lot, you kind of like collect different editions of the container.
This guy's name is Hans Gruber, which I think is great.
Amazing.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm a much nicer person now.
And Gila's there to join him.
He gets a little scolding from her for even having the cold cream out. And he's like, what? It's just cream.
It's not weird to be in this crazy jazz club. Also, I just want to say, ordering the soup in a jazz club that is going off like this, kind of an interesting choice.
A scene that Jurassic Park lifted directly. Nobody's going to suspect the toiletry on the table in the restaurant.
Great call. Yeah.
So, like they're aware that Flint is there and they don't want to be clocked by him. A Japan-themed stripper comes out on stage and does a dance, and the guy in the front row is getting a little grabby with her.
Isn't it just so much better when a stripper has an idea instead of just goes up there and peels? Like, come on, What are we doing here?
You like the fantasy that a nurse or a school teacher just stumbled in the stage door through the curtains and
every time.
It's like, well, I guess a lot of dollar bills are being held up.
Yeah.
Might as well take my top off.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This grabby guy turns out to be 0008, and I guess maybe was being grabby to provide a pretext for a bar fight with Flint so that he could give some intel that he's been gathering just freelance to Derek Flint and then be shown the door of the bar without anybody suspecting that two spies have just had an important conversation.
In the way that two professional wrestlers communicate moves while they're locked up, this is what 0008 and Derek Flint are doing as they fight their way through this jazz club, restaurant, strip club.
So we learn that Galaxy is the name of the evil organization that Derek Flint will be going up against in this adventure. And he goes to the bathroom, and Hans Gruber comes in after him, and we learn a little bit of Hans Gruber's curriculum vitae before they get in another big silly fight. We don't see a lot of it. A lot of it takes place in the stall. We can surmise what's going on based on what their feet are doing.
I thought this was so exciting, how it started outside the stall and then moved inside, because it drew a line directly to that opening scene where we see Flint absolutely take apart his sparring partners. Like, without that scene, I don't think we're really having an understanding of how much danger Flint or Hans Gruber might be in. It may just look like we may just be projecting a mess happening in there. But because we're given the gift of that opening scene, we know that Flint is going to come out on top here.
RSVP, Hans Gruber. Flint comes out of the stall and does some, I guess he's dirty from the fight, so he decides to change his look.
No, he changes so he won't be spotted leaving, right?
It's just a disguise for subterfuge.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I couldn't tell if his skin was had a darker pallor to it or something, and there was he was making the case that I need to dress as a turban wearing Arab because I've gotten so dirty that I couldn't tell how racist it was being in this moment.
I think a disguise ceases to be racist if you're trying to save your own life in changing into it.
Well, and the lives of the patrons of this club, because he goes out and the other lady, Gila, has swapped a bunch of red pills out of the jar of cream and put a bomb into it. And Flint scans it with some kind of gadget and realizes that it's about to go off. So he fakes a terror attack to clear the room, and after the explosion, he gathers, I guess, just a bit of the shrapnel from the bomb and analyzes that, and we know that we now need to go to Rome.
Rome? What the hell is he going to Rome for?
I don't exactly know, sir.
Ben, you're of the two of us probably the one I would call the clothes man. Do you have any jackets that you could flip inside out and change the color of? Is that a thing outside of a spy context? You go to a spy store, I feel like all the suits are made to do this. But Flint went from black suit to even his pants are convertible. He went from black to white. You have anything like that?
I really like a reversible jacket in a movie. And I do feel like I maybe have had one in my life, or maybe I had a reversible hooded sweatshirt. It was one color on the outside and you could fully turn it inside out and have a different looking hooded sweatshirt.
I feel like our buddy Sam in Washington, D.C. had one of those suits for his wedding.
Yeah.
I remember him having either the lining was spectacular and the outer was great, and it just seemed like he could turn it inside out, or if it actually was.
What you want is a jacket that is reversible enough that it looks like a different jacket, but not so reversible that Elaine Bennis's dad won't walk to dinner with you with your jacket inside out like that.
That's for damn sure.
It just seems like it would have to be so thick to do that, right? Because there's structure to a suit jacket that you just can't avoid having.
And it doesn't look thick when it gets it inside out. It looks very... The drape of it does not bespeak a bunch of material wadded up under there.
Ben, finally we return to the Galaxy submarine, where we've got Gila and Rodney arguing with their leadership about the failure to kill Flint. And Gila pledges to find that way to do it, and refers to Flint's 4 girlfriends as a potential way to make that happen.
You mean the impregnable Mr. Flint does have one weakness?
No, Dr. Snyder. 4.
They're in trouble. Unaware of this is Flint, who is now in Rome, and he's got a driver who he's talking to a little bit. They're headed to the manufacturer of this cold cream, and he uses his cigarette lighter to broadcast some code back to the mothership. The driver interprets this as lottery numbers, so there's like a little bit about the lottery, but crucially, he expresses to the head office that this Exotica beauty factory is no doubt a trap. There's no way that these people would let him find where they manufacture this stuff so easily. So he's got to be really careful.
We see that all of Flint's women are taken in these little vignettes. They're like distributed around what I think is Rome, doing their business.
Were they in Rome or were they back in New York and getting abducted?
It's a good question. Like, if you had these 4 women as your consorts, like, would you ever travel without them?
We didn't see him in Marseille, though, you know?
No.
But, yeah, I mean, I imagine the Learjet has enough capacity for a handful of extra passengers.
You kind of Tin Man Learjet there.
Tin Man.
And I like it. I feel like if you have a Learjet, you have to call it a Learjet.
My favorite fact about Learjets is that the heiress to the Lear fortune's name is Shanda. True fact.
What am I not getting about that?
Her name is Chandelier.
Oh, now I get it. Wow. What? That's crazy.
Yeah, good stuff.
I hate to blow you up like this on the show, though, Ben, but like, do you think it's weird that your daughter's name is also Shanda?
It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well.
Yeah. You love that bit of trivia so much you named your daughter Shanda, but omitted the Lear from the name completely.
Maybe she'll get the Lear fortune too. So we get to the Exotica factory where Gila is the director of operations or something, and that's who he asks to see. This cold cream, not an explosive, and just seems real fancy. And he's like, but I gotta know more about like what's going on. And she proposes what they openly discuss as probably a trap for him. They go to a second location.
That location we cut over to immediately. It is her apartment balcony where they have clearly been making out.
I thought we were going to talk about the weather.
She tells him once they go inside that Galaxy has a weather control station inside a volcano. And after hearing this news, they fuck. And after that, Flint steals the keys to the Exotica Cosmetics Company and leaves the apartment. But because after he leaves, Gila, she's been awake the whole time. She conveys through her behavior that this was all according to her plan.
She wanted him to take the keys. She wanted him to go back to the Exotica factory.
That wasn't a bunch of spilled cold cream around her in bed, right? I mean, maybe it was, but it probably wasn't.
It definitely wasn't brandy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, Adam. Anyways, he goes to the factory, poking around her office. He discovers a secret door that we saw a little bit earlier. And there's a safe in there. And I couldn't help but think, like, secret door with safe behind it is the premise of a good 50% of all of the social media videos I've ever seen. This may be where that came from also.
I thought a lot about how, like, when you are inside a walk-in cooler, there is, you know, a button you hit to undo the latch so you don't get trapped inside. I wonder if something like that is inside a safe, like a walk-in safe, the way we see here.
Yeah, he cracks the code to the safe. Every film with Hans Gruber in it has a safe cracking sequence. That's just the law.
We're 2 out of 2. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets closed in there by Rodney. They've got that weird gadget that it seemed like maybe they triggered the explosion from at the beginning of the film. And it is revealed that the entire safe room is actually a trailer that is now getting towed away from the building with a car, and then like they push a button on that gizmo and the entire building telescopes down into the street, and a cafe full of, I guess, co-conspirators bring out a bunch of tables and set it up like there has been an outdoor cafe here the whole time, so that when Cramden, who is in Rome because they got broadcast the location of this office, shows up with a bunch of American military people, there isn't a building there.
It's the sort of magic trick that I feel like would have been right at home in a movie like Top Secret.
Yeah.
It's an amazing practical effect that you see happen here during this transformation.
Was it a miniature? Like, I couldn't quite figure out how they did it, because it's like a multi-step process. Like, you see the trailer come out of the building, you see the building lower into the ground, you see all the people come out from the bar and set up all the cafe tables. There are a lot of funny parts of this movie. It's never as like jokey as Top Secret.
Yeah.
But like, this is like a really fucking impressive special effects sequence. And I don't quite know how they accomplished it. And I feel like it is not a joke special effect the way they would have had it in Top Secret. And it's not quite a, oh my God, look how cool this is special effect like they would have in a James Bond film.
Hearing you describe it that way makes me think about the difference between a joke and a gag, right? This feels more like a gag.
Yeah. Yeah. So after the building gag, like the squad of guys show up there, and Flint's driver, who has driven Cramden to this, like, is gaslit. Like, he is totally unable to explain why he thought there was an Exotica store there before.
This poor guy is going to question everything he's ever experienced in his entire life. He'll never be the same after this.
No, this is a life ruiner for him, for sure. We catch up with Flint inside the safe, where he turns his watch into a headlamp and his lighter into a cutting torch and gets out. Then, like, throws a little suction cup onto the back window of the car that is towing him so that he could listen to the conversation between Rodney and Gila. And, like, I think Cramden is already back in Washington now because he's getting the broadcast signal from Flint about what he's learning about where this volcano island is.
It's a great detail because Flint's job doesn't stop just because he's trapped in a safe being dragged behind a car. Like, he's still doing the work of research, and he has found the location of the secret volcano weather control station.
Yeah, he like finds a bunch of documents and he's gathering tons of intel, but he does not get that location to Z.O.W.I.E because he is distracted when he hears that his playmates have been abducted.
Yeah, he's going to make that a priority now. What he calls a family reunion is going to be his purpose at this point. And when the safe RV is towed to an abandoned building and open, they find Flint on the ground looking dead. But we know he can fake his own death. They don't know that, though.
They don't know about his heart-stopping technique. So they put him in a coffin, which they had, like Rodney had arranged for there to be a coffin. They put him in it, take a picture of that, and send it via vacuum tube to Cramden back at Z.O.W.I.E. And everybody in the Situation Room is just so saddened to learn of the passing of Derek Flint.
He was the best. Undisciplined, but the best.
He was a legend.
This is a meeting that will live in infamy because not only do they learn that Flint is dead, they get a transmission from Galaxy that is going out across the globe. And this is a demonstration of their power, their ability to control the weather. They're like, hey, guess what? Here's who we are. And in 10 seconds, we are going to trigger an earthquake that is going to cause the explosion of a volcano. Check this out. And everyone sort of looks at their watch and then they look at the screen. And then they have video of this volcano explosion that they cut to, which is really useful, right? Because if you just say you're going to do it in 10 seconds, that doesn't do anything. You got to show and tell.
They got some camera positions, danger close to those calderas. And then like a little bit later, like presumably the U.S. Geological Service phones in with a, accurate 4.9 on the Richter scale, just as they called it. So the scientists say, here's the deal. You've got to dismantle your air forces and navies and all of the nuclear weapons in the world. We're in charge now. You're not allowed to have any of those weapons anymore.
The deal with Z.O.W.I.E is that they don't really have a response to this yet. All of the members of Z.O.W.I.E need to go back to their governments and bring back what their response is to this blackmail.
The sub finally reaches the hollowed out volcano island. They have brought barrels and barrels and barrels of this Exotica cold cream, and that's being loaded up onto the dock.
I mean, if you're in danger of a lot of sun damage because of, you're living or vacationing on an island, I think it's going to be important to have a lot of this around.
Flint's little watch gizmo wakes him up. So he's like regained consciousness, but is still inside the coffin. They start like loading everything into the island. And what it's really like is every Austin Powers villain lair, like more so than every Bond villain lair. It is like the kind of henchmen and hard hats and machinery that Austin Powers did very specifically.
There is also a real fancy resort hotel vibe to this. Like, it is not all work. Like, there is a fair amount of recreation happening in and around this island fortress that I think you got to recognize.
There is like an industrial part of it and there is a vacational part of it. And those are like the two ends of the bell curve with nothing in the middle.
One person who is not taking a vacation from kicking Gila in the fucking lady nuts is Rodney. Like, he cannot let go of the throwing of her under the bus whenever they interact with Galaxy leadership.
Had I been in charge, Dr. Wu, things would have been very different. After all, Flint was only a man.
Like, I guess she's sort of in charge of their field operations and he chafes under her leadership is kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
But he is constantly dogging her out to this triumvirate of scientists that run Galaxy. Flint has already gotten out of the coffin and dressed as a hench. So when they bust open the coffin, they just find one of their henchmen dead in there.
Some rando. That's great.
Yeah.
If you're a part of Galaxy, like, you don't take the rando out of the coffin and bury him somewhere else. You probably leave him in the coffin, right? That's just efficient.
Right. I mean, we don't even have to go get one out of coffin storage this way.
If you find me in a coffin, I'm just going to say, leave me in the coffin. I don't want any extra work for anyone.
We get some pretty fun stuff of him sneaking around the grounds dressed as a hench, and the grounds are beautiful. Like, it's got some of the vibe of like the cave that they go to on the Genesis planet in Wrath of Khan. There's lots of infrastructure, like a great public transit system on this island. Lots of bikini babes. Everybody's doing leisure activities,
The logo wear that Flint changes into looks like a Puma tracksuit.
Yeah.
For Galaxy. It's really awesome. And on James Coburn's lanky, rakish body, it looks like it's like Kung Fu movie coded, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. All of his karate skills will not protect him from bald eagle attack. Everybody kind of like seems to get summoned to this building, but there's a bald eagle hanging out at the threshold that goes for him. And after the bald eagle stops attacking him, a couple of henchmen explain, "Oh yeah, that's a bald eagle that we've trained to hate Americans."
Anti-American eagle. It's diabolical.
It seems ridiculous that it's not the security henches that bring Flint in. It's like very much the eagle that does it. Until I thought about every time I've ever seen an eagle up close and how fucking muscular and sharp they look. It really seems like they would fuck you up. Like, sort of like a guard dog would do.
Yeah. Like, if an eagle decided that what it needed to do most in the world is fuck your shit up,
Yeah.
I feel like it would be like maybe not even a fair fight. Like I feel like the eagle might have the upper hand.
Doesn't it seem like it'd be harder to fight off an eagle than a dog even that wanted to kill you?
Yeah, the eagle can come from any angle.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can fly in a way a dog, to my knowledge, cannot.
He's not totally like under arrest, right? Like they don't have his arms behind his back or anything like that. They're just like, yeah, why don't we go this way? And they bring him into the big factory floor where there's this enormous smoke spewing drill apparatus.
The drill bit set piece is really amazing. It looks so cool.
It looks great. This stuff is like the most Star Trek-y too. Like there's so much set design stuff in this that is like, okay, like 1966, I can see what you were up to when it comes to making a big elaborate space for something to be happening in.
I think this bit is emblematic of another quality, which is like, we're not just making a giant drill bit that drills into a volcano. It's like, how can we make it look interesting? It's got all these facets to it that make it look unusual. It's like shooting steam out of it as it rotates. It's like, it's the concept, but it's an additive idea to that concept, and you see it all around the secret base.
It's cooler than it needed to be.
Yeah, that's it.
They bring him before the scientists and Gila and Rodney, and we meet Dr. Krupov and Dr. Wu and Dr. Schneider, and you're going to be really surprised which one is Schneider and which one is Wu. Like, again, Rodney takes another swipe at Gila, saying that the only reason Flint is alive is because of her incompetence. And the scientists agree. Like, yeah, I guess maybe we take Gila out of the org chart for that and go send her to be conditioned to do the other thing that we do here.
As a woman, that is one way in which you may best serve Galaxy.
I gotta say, the blame for Gila's failure is hers, but also her target is the all Madden level of the video game. Like, Flint seems impossible to kill for any agent.
Totally.
And so, yeah, it's Gila's fault, but also, fuck, man, Flint's an impossible assignment, but also I'm on the side of the Galaxy leadership, which is like, how many chances are we going to give you, Gila? Really?
These guys are nothing if not reasonable. Like, that reason is maybe the thing that they prize most of all. So they're like, this is better for you. You're going to serve Galaxy in a different way. And she makes a big scene that enables her to steal Flint's lighter back, get it into his hand before she's hauled away. And then the scientists are like, Flint, you're obviously amazing at what you do. We've got an opening in our espionage org chart. I really wanted Rodney to be pissed at this. Like, fuck, no!
That it's just a nonstop line of folks that the Galaxy leadership values over his contributions.
Yeah,
I think that's a fun subtext.
I think Mr. Flint has outlived his usefulness.
We will be the judge of that, Mr. Rodney.
Dr. Krupov is a little bit worried about Flint. He's, being the loose cannon that he is, like, sure, he gets results, but we have a pretty, like, buttoned up, like, organized environment here. I'm not sure he would fit in. So why don't we just go kill him in the killing booth, which they call the electoral fragmentizer.
On his way out, Flint gives Rodney the Charlie horse of a lifetime. I fucking love this. When I was a kid, this was the thing of choice to do to a buddy or your brother or whatever when you were fucking with them. That knee to the side of the thigh hurt so fucking bad.
At that point, what's the difference? Like, they're taking you off to kill you. Like, you might as well take the sucker punches that you have available to you.
Yeah, Rodney's going to think of Flint for a long, long time, hobbling around after this one.
You're a foolish man, Mr. Flint.
We cut back to Z.O.W.I.E HQ, where everybody's turning in their little blue pieces of paper with what their governments have decided to do with this ultimatum from Galaxy. And everybody is in agreement. It is time to capitulate to Galaxy. Cramden is not happy, but the writing is on the wall, so he's on the phone with the president. He's like, well, I guess now that we're capitulating, there's no need for Z.O.W.I.E. Can I go join the Navy and re-enlist in my old unit?
Seems like Cramden exists to only be in disagreement with everyone around him, you know?
In a room that looks like it was set up to be an Instagram trap, like the Museum of Ice Cream or something, Flint finds Gila being reprogrammed as some kind of sex person.
That's the second time. You've called a hooker that.
Is it too late? Has she been lost to the diabolical scheme of Galaxy? No. He just is like, you're not a pleasure unit. You're just regular.
Yeah, I mean, if they are all sex workers, this pimp does not have a very strong hold over the women. If all it takes is for Flint to get in there and whisper something to them to break the spell.
Or is he also an amazing anti-hypnotist? I couldn't quite tell.
That's a great point, because I think we got to say there's a quality to James Coburn's voice that is so specific and good.
Yeah.
And like 60s and a carton of cigarettes and a big man, like that combination creates a voice like this that is like very suggestible.
I would do anything.
Repeat after me. I am not a pleasure unit. I am not a pleasure unit.
All of these pleasure units are being processed through like a computer registration thing, and then like they go through the subway turnstile into a like a complex, or maybe you'd call it a facility.
Yeah, maybe even a felicity. I mean, it certainly looks good enough.
One of those jars of cold cream is there, and it's like, I think it's just like a pill to make it more fun to fuck.
Yeah, I think you watch any sporting event, you're just going to be inundated by Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie telling you need to eat these before bedtime.
And by the way, she'll like it too.
Is that what was in all of the barrels that they brought?
Great question. This movie doesn't seem too interested in telling us the answer to that, or at least confirming it.
Anyways, yeah, the henchmen are like taking this drug, and Flint like fakes like he is going to, but then like puts it in his waistband, and I wasn't quite sure whose benefit that was for. I didn't really see anybody watching, but anyways, he goes through the turnstile and finds himself in the middle of this big space where there are like doorways into various like environments. Like there's like 60s nightclub environment, there's ice planet environment, there's like ancient Greece babes feed you peeled grapes environment, and it seems like it's just kind of a the screen at the beginning of Mario Kart, like you decide which level you want to go fuck in.
It really seems like Epstein's Island for adults.
Yeah, sure. For adults who have been hypnotized and reprogrammed.
Sure.
All that is asked of me, I will perform.
All that is asked of me, I will perform.
He goes in to the various rooms and collects all his old flames. Oh, there's like drive-in movie environment is one of them.
Yeah.
Like all the different 60s things you can think of. And he very easily deprograms all of them. And then they all meet up with Gila in the Ice Planet playset, where he's like, okay, I got to go do final showdown. Y'all stay here. Stay safe.
This moment in the film is, as you say, the setup for the end boss. And once all of his women are rescued, I feel like I've been trained to predict that a double cross was happening.
Sure.
By one or all of these women. Did you feel that way? Like, okay, Flint is successful, and it's almost too easy at this point. I was expecting, once the end boss moment arrived, for the women to gang up on Flint again.
Yeah, like the hypnosis has like a second layer of security, so it makes it look like the hypnotic effect has broken.
Exactly.
But it hasn't really, or they all have been persuaded by what the scientists have said, that this is in fact a better path for humanity to pursue or something. But no, it's just like fist fight with Rodney. Then like the scientists come out and they're like, please don't destroy our big drill. And they like agree, you know, we've done all this amazing scientific research and developed this beautiful theory and like built the toehold of utopia. So we're just going to give up and back down. You can like take us in so that the research isn't destroyed. And Rodney's like, Leroy Jenkins, and throws a huge metal hook at Flint, who like ducks, and it hits the drill, and all of the scientists like fall down a big hole. And now the whole island is kind of cascade failuring and blowing up, and there are huge explosions everywhere. All the paradise enjoyers out in the grotto area are like running for their lives. All the sex havers are leaving their different Mario Kart levels.
Yeah, put a pin in all several hundred of those people, Ben, because when it comes time to flee the island, the women are put into barrels and they're floated over a waterfall. That waterfall dries up, so Flint does a cliff dive off of them to leave, leaving everyone on that island for its destruction.
People that they take great pains to show terrified for their lives, in a panic, like thronging down stairways and trying to like cram into elevators so that they can get away.
I mean, I think you asked this question earlier. Like, are these people, when they're not wearing the uniform of Galaxy, are they off duty just enjoying their recreation time? Or are these, like, how are they having a relationship to Galaxy? Put another way, how guilty are they when the time comes for the island to explode?
This is the construction workers on the Death Star question. Like, what were there innocents that died when that thing went off?
Right.
Here's the thing. The henches that grabbed him after the anti-American eagle attacked him explained that that eagle goes after Americans. But they have accents that don't sound too different from yours or mine. So they must be Canadians? And I'm thinking maybe this is a Canadian island. So maybe they are all guilty.
Seems pretty tropical. There's no such thing as that, right?
There's also like a completely unnecessary scene of Rodney in the big control room office area trying to get on the 1MC to like rally everyone back to the cause, but the radio falls apart.
It's pretty hard to stay mission focused when giant boulders are being thrown into the air and dropped onto people.
This was like the most Star Trek shit. I was like, man, everything in 1966 that was a computer that was going haywire had like sparks and explosives built into it. And always there are rocks coming down from the ceiling. Rocks that we see hit women on the head as they're trying to flee and do not seem to do any damage.
The women that are safe in this film are the ones who have been put into the barrels by Flint. They are rescued by the Navy ship. Flint hoists himself up onto the carrier on the ladder himself. Very, very little attention is paid to him outside of the moment where the president calls, wanting to congratulate Cramden. Cramden does that thing where he puts his hand over the speaker and he's like, hey, Flint, the president wants to talk to you. Flint doesn't have time for that. He's going to have a 5-way makeout in a barber's chair on the bridge. It's funny how every chair's a barber's chair for Flint.
Yeah. Seems like Gila may have joined the polycule.
Yeah.
You know, time is a limited resource, but love is not, Adam.
It's true.
I think that's the real message of this film. Did you like our man Flint?
You control the weather and you control the world.
Oh, I really loved it. I did a little reading before watching it because this had not been a movie I'd really heard of before.
Yeah.
So I wanted to sort of get myself into the correct mindset for it. Because sometimes when you go into a movie, especially a movie that Bill Tilley recommends, you have a preconceived notion of what it is, and very often that's wrong. So I wanted to go in ready for this. And I read a bunch about how it had inspired the Austin Powers movies, and I think that really helped my enjoyment of this, because this film was not as silly as Austin Powers, and I think a lot of that had to do with James Coburn's performance. He is someone that brings a serenity and a kind of seriousness to the performance that isn't totally in on the joke, the way Leslie Nielsen tends to be in one of his spoof movies.
Right.
But in a way that Peter Graves doesn't in Airplane, you know? Like, there's a way to do a comedy performance where you're just sort of like bemused by your circumstances instead of like participating in how insane they are. Mm-hmm. And I think that meant so much in how much I enjoyed this film, because when shit gets too spoofy and too in on itself, I think it just becomes absurd in a way that's like less enjoyable to me. And I don't have a lot of comps for this, but I think it's like the difference between a spoof movie and like what a Zucker Brothers film was back when they were at their most powerful, like not leaning all the way into the absurdity, like crafting some sort of world where this could conceivably be happening. And that's why I really like this movie.
I agree, Adam. I watching this movie felt like, in asking Bill for his staff recommendation, we may have caused some kind of rift in the universe whereby a film that did not exist prior to us asking came into existence because Bill had to pick a movie from 1966 for us to watch.
Yeah. And what a great pick by him.
Right down the middle. A beautiful pitch by BT. And yeah, I mean, I could watch movies like this all day. Like, what a weird treat. I had no idea how much other stuff Austin Powers had drawn from, I think. Like, I thought it was just a weird Bond thing, and it's not. And I also think that this movie has like a lot of self-confidence not to be as joke as other comedies of the day, I think. You know, like some of the best jokes in it are pretty subtle.
There's also sort of a baked in misogyny to the spy film genre that I think this film is largely free of, because Flint is he's sort of a Lebowski Bruce Wayne type. Like, he is wealthy and all powerful, but also like very vibey in a all good man kind of way. Like, he never projects creep ever. And I think that's also really important too.
In a way that James Bond often does. And this movie is kind of making fun of the way other films of its day treated the female characters. And so it feels a little less gross when he's like got as many love interests as he does. And
I wasn't grossed out by a second of this film. And that's kind of a miracle for any film made in 1966.
I mean, like, having seen the film up until that point, wasn't like completely blindsided by this, but like, if you told me based on like the picture of the poster of this movie, a big part of the climax was going to be him going and deprogramming a bunch of women who had been turned essentially into sex slaves, I would not have believed you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the tits in the movie poster are bigger than James Coburn's face.
They're really big.
Yeah.
What fun. Why don't we head to the Priority One inbox, see what we got in there, Adam?
Yeah, see if anything explodes out of that thing.
I believe that's just cold cream.
Priority One message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Priority One message here of a personal nature, Adam. This one's from SP, and it's to Jessica and John, but only because they introduced me to the podcast, and not for any reasons. Micturate. Is that the word for peeing on a rug that they use in the Big Lebowski?
Oh, micturate.
Micturate. Here's the message. Maybe we'll get some context clues in here. Everyone knows best boss I ever had is the preferred passcode, but what my theory presupposes is that perhaps a P1 of specific sibilance is the only certain shibboleth. myriad entrepreneurial Miriam's enterprise to study urinary sciences aboard the USS Bashir, seeking six piss-sick maquis convalescing in Six Bay, but for some reason, Jake Sisko. Or maybe it's more fun to say as Vichy French guy. Is impression double-dipping sheer fucking hubris?
How about no?
Okay, Maggie O'Calloran drop.
Would you like to hold my hand? Would you like to kiss me?
Oh, good morning, boys.
The spirits have turned her into a cow.
I'm not quite myself today.
Oh?
What kind of a girl do you think I am?
Bitch, I'm a cargo move.
I was walking around town with nothing but a bell around my neck. Everyone was staring at me.
Wow.
SP, you gotta know that Ben just fucking cold read that and managed not to fall down in the tires of what that was linguistically. What a trap.
My goodness, there was a lot. I cannot believe I stuck the landing on that. That is 10 years of Star Trek podcasting right there.
You know what? We moved to recording after this off of today's schedule, and I feel like we're missing an opportunity there.
Right.
Like, you're so on it.
I'm rolling hot in the like
you said it.
Term. Not roulette.
Put it that way. That's
what's
fun.
A gamble that has dice? Craps?
You're rolling hot in that wheel that you spin with all the bills on it.
That's a form of rolling, right? The marble rolls around it.
Sure is. Yeah.
Well, thanks, SP, and thanks to Jessica and John for introducing the podcast to SP. That rules.
Good job. Good job by you. Ben, we've got a message here from longtime great friend of DeSoto, Bowser. Here's that message. Longtime listener, first-time P1 buyer. I had to celebrate you guys going independent. I'm really excited to see everyone again at STLV, and ahead of that, I am so happy to tell you that I am trans.
Yeah! Hell yeah, Bowser.
Support from the FOD community made it feel more possible and helped me have the courage to take the first steps. I'm so proud of all of us and how far we've come since that first episode. Also, thanks, Jay, for being the best LA tour guide ever. Bowser,
congratulations.
Amazing. Bowser, we have known for just years and years. I want to say, I think we first met him at the East Coast Max Fun Con, I feel like was...
Oh, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Like, was the first time we had a face-to-face hang.
Yeah.
And just the best. What a hang.
I just got to say, Bowser, I'm learning that you're trans now, and I apologize for years of misgendering you. That is on me. I'm so sorry.
Are you just baiting me, Ben? I feel like so much of our relationship is you apologizing for something you don't have to, and me going, you don't have to apologize.
We love you tons, Bowser, and seriously, congratulations on taking a really big step in living as your true self. That is a big, scary thing to do, and you did it.
What a great compliment he gives to the FODs, though, just being like a cool, chill, supportive place. Yeah, I love the FODs. I love you, Bowser.
Yeah. All right. If you'd like to get a Priority One message for very silly reasons like SP, or very momentous reasons like Bowser, or anything in between, or if you'd like to get that Greatest Trek bump, we'd sure appreciate it. It's greatesttrek.com to set yours up today. It's a big part of how we make this show possible. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Adam.
What's that, Ben?
Did you find yourself an Edward Larkin in this film? Edward Larkin!
Yeah. I think Flint has a lot of the qualities of an Edward Larkin without the buffoonery of it. Like, an Edward Larkin is very self-confident and certain of his abilities, and certain that other people are wrong, specifically, in a way that Flint is utterly. The difference is that Larkin was wrong in just so many ways, but Flint is, I think, maybe 100% right in all of his instincts throughout the film. And isn't it interesting how that never becomes boring as you travel with him throughout all of the adventures here in this film? Like, sometimes it can feel like you're with a character who is a cheat code for things and it just feels like kind of rote and whatever. But like the ways that he solves his problems are never not interesting and never not stylish with a kind of like charisma that I found really charming. So yeah, I'm going to make my man Flint the Edward Larkin. How about you?
I like it. I'm going to kind of go in a different direction. Maybe the one person whose on-screen performance I condemn, which is one of the Navy guys in the rescue boat at the very end that pulls Gila out of her barrel. Just like very brazenly cops a feel as he's pulling her out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Just really goes for it. And I was like, man, come on, you're on camera. What are you doing?
I did not clock that at all. Huh.
You shouldn't do it if you're not on camera, but like you're immortalized for copping a feel.
You know, what's interesting about the difference between Gila and the other 4 women is that Gila could kill that guy.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm not sure the other 4 could or would think to do. And it makes me wonder what their relationship will be to each other as time goes on, you know, because there's definitely an alpha in the group now.
No kidding. Gila is an absolute killer. Anybody but Flint, and she would have just dominated this movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
I really liked her. She's really interesting story. She was like a Holocaust orphan and like in a convent. She just like bounced around. She's had like 5 different names.
That's a confusing path in a lot of ways.
Yeah. She was great in this. I thought she was really splendid.
I want to watch more James Coburn movies. Yeah. I really got on that guy's level. He was great. Maybe Bill will nominate another down the road.
I'd love that. Well, Adam, this has been a ton of fun. We end every episode of Greatest Trek with a segment we call Warning Bois, in which we express our appreciation for folks who go out on the internet and leave a nice review or recommend the show on social media. And Adam is going to read one such post as we express our appreciation for folks who do that.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy. A warning buoy.
Ben, here's one on Apple Podcasts. 5-star review from Aaron123 from Canada. Headline, listening to this won't make you cool. Okay. Will listening to this pod make you cool? No. Will it help you learn anything of value at all? Hard no. Will it sometimes make you blow air out of your nose because you are incapable of real laughter? Well, I guess it does often enough to support this pod on a monthly basis, I guess. Great show, my favorite, despite how poorly that reflects on me. I feel like Aaron123 is describing how I laugh on this show mostly. Just an exhalation of air out of my nose. Ben deserves so much more from a co-host than what I give. But yeah, our show is not cool, but it is really great in a way that Aaron understands deeply.
I feel like you can learn something. You can learn a lot about men's health.
Yeah. Yeah. This was a good men's health episode, I think.
I think so too.
Flint has a lot of demonstrably good behaviors.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Seems like a guy who probably straps it up, you know, stay safe.
Has to.
With that many partners, you know, good practice.
That's smart.
Well, we sure appreciate you listening. Take it away, Wynde. Bye-bye.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wynde Priddy. Next week, Greatest Trek Film Fest returns with the second in this 3-episode series where the great Rob Adler has selected a very weird one from 1966. The movie is called The War of the Gargantuas, and you can search online to watch this one for free. Until then, we want to say thank you to all the members who are supporting this show. You can join them right now at greatesttrek.com or just click the link that's in the show notes. Members get an ad-free feed plus a lot of great bonus episodes, and we really appreciate your support. Thank you to Adam Ragusia for composing the theme music. Thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley for working on the Greatest Trek social media pages. Follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube, and use the hashtag Greatest Trek when you post about the show. Also, make sure you're signed up for the Greatest newsletter. You can do that over at podshop.biz, where we keep all the fun merch. You can also book a P1 there, and that supports the show as well. Another way to support for free is to leave a positive review or just recommend the show to someone that you know. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Uxbridge.
Shimoda.